Hey, what's up guys? RC Addict Make You Local here, and today we got the Redcat Rampage MT, and I want to go over a few of the things that I found out on it to be good and bad now that I have one tank of gas fully through it on there. I'm still in the break-in phase, obviously, so we're going to start from the front to back and tell you what's good, bad, and what broke on here. Okay, so I drove this thing around quite aggressively. It was, half to quarter, quarter to half throttle. I wasn't beating on the engine because I know I'm still breaking it in, but it was 10, 11 degrees outside, so it's kind of my own fault that some of this stuff broke. So when I first noticed, I ran into myself actually, trying to kill switch feature out, and of course wasn't cruising along that fast because I was already killed, but I broke this off on there. And then while I was driving at some point, I broke the other side. No big deal. It was like 10 degrees outside, like I said, and it just kind of gets brittle at that temperature. And the other thing is that this part is kind of for decoration, whereas this part right here is all beefy. That has zero problems. That's what actually protects the vehicle in a crash. I did do some good jumps with it. There's a bunch of snow out here right now, so I did crack one of the arms here on the servo saver. You can see it flopping around down there. So I did lose steering. I was still able to drive it, but that actually took the vehicle down and made me, pull it in for the day and start ordering parts on there. Also, I did some crazy jumps on there and kind of slid on its side a little bit and ground the nub off on here just about flush. Going back, everything is fine in here. And then I come back here when I did the after run checks, and I noticed that there's a lot of oil splattered all over back here, right? Well, I know I'm running rich with the oil and all that stuff in there, so of course we're going to splatter. There's a lot of oil concentration. So back here, I totally understand it, but why is it over here? So I started messing with it, and I noticed the whole muffler and tailpipe back here where it bolts to the engine is actually quite loose in there, so it's just splattering all out of there instead of coming back here. So that's another issue I found. Hopefully it's just some screws that need some Loctite on, no big deal. And of course back here, same thing. The little bumpers broke on there. So that's kind of my fault for running it in 10-degree weather, but otherwise I did have some running problems. This thing started just fine. A few more cranks than I'd like, but then again it's really cold, like I said. And I got started, runs great, idles great. After like 5-10 minutes of running, the thing kept dying out. So that was a real problem. And the one time I did do the old trick like I used to do my lawnmower, I unscrewed the cap to get any pressure out of there, because those get a vacuum in them. Can't pull the fuel into the engine. So this thing's pressurized, so I figured I would try for the heck of it. So I did it, and it ran the rest of the day until I broke that steering knuckle up here, that little servo saver on the bell crank up there. So I don't know if that had something to do with it or what. So once I get it all fixed, I'll be able to tell if I got any more running issues or not. Or maybe it's a little piece of fine metal. I guess they have problems in the needles in the carburetor, passing fine pieces of metal through from the machining process. And maybe I just passed it through or got dislodged and it's just running fine now. I'm going to show you the body here real quick. I totally obliterated that thing. I did a jump and I guess I landed on the side and the thing was, rock hard because it was so cold out and it just shattered. So we got opportunity to do a video in the future how to fix bodies and reinforce them also. Okay, so I did the one jump. I was on its side and like, oh man, I blew through right there. Oh man, that's bad, whatever. It's just a little round chunk taken out, no big deal. And I noticed all of this. I was like, oh man. And then I noticed all this. Wow. So yeah, these do not mix at all with that kind of weather, and that's my own fault, and I knew it beforehand, but I've also driven 10 scales, Traxxas vehicles type deal out in that kind of weather at 8-10 degrees, and they may break apart or two, but the bodies usually don't crack this bad. But then again, you gotta realize this thing weighs 35+ pounds. So alright, as things progress, I'll do more and more of these videos, these status update videos. We'll see how it handles in the warm temperatures. Is it going to be an overheating issue with these engines? Is the plastic components, suspension parts and all that still going to break even though it's warmer out and they're more flexible? We're going to do tuning videos. We're going to do all kinds of stuff, and it's, of course, once it gets fully broken in, we're going to do some awesome running videos on there also, and really start tearing up the track and the snow piles and all that stuff. So just stay tuned, be patient, and there'll be plenty of new videos coming out on this Redcat, and we'll see if it's good enough, you know, especially compared to why is this one 700 and let's say a Losi 5T is almost 1500 with all the accessories and stuff on there. So stay tuned.